Welcome back to the last installment of this Let's Play. Last time we beat the game. I said what I thought about the game. But now we're here for some icing on the cake. So we're going to check out this Final Fantasy X-2 last mission. See what it's about. And who knows what's going to happen here. So let's dive right in. Okay, so this seems like it's actually playable. I wonder if this was included in the original Final Fantasy X-2 game in some kind of way.
I thought that we would always be together. Huh? Whoa, Beauty! Riku, what are you doing here? I was gonna ask you that! Here, look! Ta-da! You got one too?
You betcha! I thought it was just some stupid junk mail that doesn't even have a return address on it. But I figured I'd come check it out, and I'm glad I did. It's been so long, Uni. How are you?
Good.
I told myself we could see each other whenever we wanted, but time just kept passing. The letter said to check the fifth seat from the right in the front row of the east block, right?
And that would be here.
Hey!
Long time no see. You got a letter too, Pain? Looks that way.
Has it been 3 months?
Feels like more than that.
What are you complaining about? You two are the ones who got off the ship in the first place, remember?
I suppose some bonds just can't be broken.
Welcome back!
Thanks, Riku. Where's brother?
He's out shopping with Buddy. Forget about that. Come on, read the letter. Read it!
Oh, right. Travel to Udisar. Reach the top by powers yours and yours alone, and there will be something worth seeing.
That's it? Udisar? What's a Udisar?
Udisar Tower. I've heard of it. Only rumors, though. A ruined tower just recently discovered, so they say. I've got an idea where it might be.
Then let's go! Take the helm, Pain!
Me? I think brother will get mad if he finds out. Won't he?
Here! Well, that settles that! Wait! Why?
doesn't look good.
I can't talk to him? No menu to bring up. Invisible wall right here.
It's huge.
That's what she said.
Good thing we can just fly straight to the top.
Now where's the fun in that?
Well, where's the fun in climbing?
Remember the letter. Reach the top by powers yours and yours alone, and there will be something worth seeing. We should do as it says.
Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this.
What? Character actions within the tower are determined by turns. Moving a square or performing an action takes 1 turn. Enemies also use turns. After a character takes her turn, enemies are able to take their turns. Try not to waste your turns as you may find yourself surrounded. What the fuck are you going on about? The tower contains many enemies. Press X to attack enemies and use abilities and items to defeat them. However, attacks, abilities, and items all have a range. You may not be able to attack all enemies on your screen. Some may be outside your range. Range is displayed as a blue mark at your character's feet and can be viewed on the mini-map. Range varies based on each dress and ability. The tower's interior is always changing. If you revisit a floor you have cleared, you may find that it has completely changed. Check the mini-map for information and use the right stick to zoom, change field of view. There are barriers between rooms and hallways. You cannot damage enemies across these barriers, and the enemies cannot move past them. Take advantage of these barriers if you want to escape. Okay, you're putting a lot on me here. You can obtain dress spheres throughout the tower. You can equip them as dresses, and even layer multiple dresses to use a variety of different abilities. Employ your abilities to vanquish your foes and search for the elevator leading to the next floor. However, some elevators are sealed by barriers. These elevators won't work unless certain conditions are met. Use your cunning to find out what's required. What is going on? Alright, we'll just learn as we go. We're gonna jump in the deep end here. This is like some... I've never played this, but this is looking like some tactics shit. This is looking like some Final Fantasy tactics shit. I need to play Final Fantasy Tactics. I hear nothing but good things about it. Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be a whole thing, isn't it? Head to the top of... Oh my god. E2 Cure Tower. You can only use items you find in the tower. Individual skill is the name of the game, so you'll be alone, but can switch characters at certain points. Victory conditions, reach the top of the tower. Choose your Y or P. I selected Riku first for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to do this shit, really. Oh my god. Ah, shit. What am I supposed to do? Where am I going? A save memo? Basic healing? Trainer level 1? Yep, just take me up. Oh my god. How many floors are there gonna be? And how do I switch characters? Can you fuck off? I did it. How many floors are there? Why are you missing? I have a... Okay, I was worried I might not have enough HP to do that. This just feels dumb. I'm sorry. But what the hell is this shit? Getting that gill. I'm still getting that gill. Okay, that seemed unnecessarily long. What? Am I getting any higher? Damn, that thing hits hard.
I'm kind of in a tight spot here.
Is Riku in her panties right now? Okay, now what? Look. Look, I don't know if I want to do this shit. I'm sorry. I get control over Riku now. That's cool. I have to start back at the first floor. And I still don't have anything. I got this trophy, by the way. Defeated Vegnagon with a Thunderbolt. Look at all these jobs, dress spheres. I didn't get in Final Fantasy X too. Gun Mage, Samurai, Dark Knight, Lady Luck, Mascot, Sidekick. Let's just go with Warrior. Is it just me, or does Riku's sword look different like this? Where am I at? Where am I going? That's not cool. I really don't, dude. Oh my god. Okay, that was a mistake. Yep, a huge mistake. Just always run. Look. I'm not gonna do this. I'm sorry. But you know what? I'm gonna look up the cutscenes for this shit just to see if anything worth the fuck happens. There's 42 minutes worth of cutscenes for this.
You sure about that? Because I do. After that, they separated us to keep us hidden from him.
I'm just gonna read the first comment that popped up on this video on YouTube I just looked up. So this is the Final Fantasy X-2 last mission, all cutscenes. And the top comment on here says, "Thank you for this. The last mission gameplay is so boring. So I'm glad that I could just watch the cutscenes instead. And it was worth it. Honestly, while it may not have been quite as good as Final Fantasy X, X-2 is still an amazing game. And truly underrated. And the last mission cutscenes were freaking beautiful. And I'm glad that despite the fact that they might go their separate ways again, they will continue to be friends." So basically, I think this is just showing Riku and Pain being friendly, and I think it kind of like shows how Payne, Gipple, and the rest of the gang, Nuge and Barrela, it shows them how they all kind of like finished escaping from Yevon, maybe. And then it ends with, I believe, Yuna thinking about Tita some more. I don't know who wrote the notes, but anyway. It ends with a montage just showing off cutscenes from Final Fantasy X, none from X-2. Okay, then it does show some X-2 scenes. And then it ends with a quote that says, "Someday, somewhere in the sky, may we meet again." Obviously, seemingly referring to Yuna and Tidus. So damn, I guess Tidus does stay dead here in X-2. I was thinking he was gonna come back, but he doesn't. I'm gonna watch this in full later, but it's late. It's really late tonight, and I just don't think I want to deal with this shit. Period. So sorry about that. But it's kind of a shame because X-2 kind of ended a little underwhelmingly for me, and not just because Tidus didn't come back or anything like that. But my opinions with X-2 still stand. I thought it was a solid game, kind of a mid game for me personally, but solid nonetheless. It had some good things going for it. It just couldn't put it all together for me quite. So yeah, next time we'll continue the Final Fantasy Marathon with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles here on the PS4. So, yeah, until then. Hello, this is Future Me, and I'm just here to give my final thoughts on Final Fantasy X-2 as a whole. So first of all, I've done some, since beating the game and deciding not to carry on with the last mission here, I decided to look up some stuff about the game and watch some of the Crimson Spheres I wasn't able to find throughout my Let's Play, and just find out some stuff. So yeah, it really didn't seem like there was a whole lot left with the spheres I was missing to see. There was a missable scene that I missed in Chapter 3 that kind of gave more context to what was going on with Nuge and why he shot everybody. And yeah, I mean, I already kind of figured that, like, yeah, he got possessed by Shuyin. But yeah, the scene that I missed, Barrela was questioning Nuge, and Gipple was there too, and all three of them were like at gunpoint with each other, and Shuyin possessed Nuge again, and then he went and he switched from Nuge, left his body, and went into Baralah's body, and that's how he started possessing Baralah. So Baralah didn't have Shuyin in him since the start of this game. So I was able to get more context there. They still didn't explain how Pain, Baralah, and Gipple were able to survive, literally getting shot. But I'll get back with that in a second. So I got more context on that. That whole underground dungeon, optional dungeon, 100 floors worth, below New Yevon. It's just a big ass dungeon. That's a boss rush essentially. At the very end of it, you fight like the founder of I believe the founder of New Yevon. I don't think the founder of Yevon. Just the founder of New Yevon, maybe. But you fight him, and he's basically going on about, because he collected all the, or he collected a lot of spheres detailing information about the past, and he destroyed them all. And he basically just went on like, oh, people don't need to know the past. They just need to focus on the present and not worry about the past, and not get lost in that, and just focused on building for the future or something like that anyway. And you're just like, no, you're wrong. And basically, yeah, she's right, because obviously we do need to know the past so we can learn from it. But anyway, it really wasn't this so deep. I did finally understand, I think, what my commenter was trying to tell me. Every 20 floors you go down, you can leave that dungeon and be able to save your game and then go back. You can go back to that point you got to on the 20th floor, or the 40th, or the 60th, or 80th. You can go back to those points. Okay. That makes sense. Well, I just didn't know. There's really no way to know that yourself. The game doesn't, as far as I could tell, let you know. I was just kind of assuming if I left, there was no way I was going to be able to go back to any point that I had been to before. I didn't know there was a checkpoint system in there. So I feel like the game could have done a better job of letting you know that, or any job at all. But no, I still don't think I would have wanted to do that dungeon. I just wasn't skilled enough or leveled enough, have the dress spheres necessary to do that. So that's unfortunate. It's especially unfortunate because another thing I found out is if you have 100% of all the missions completed, then you get the quote-unquote true ending of the game, where Tidus comes back and everybody kind of has their happily ever after, or everybody has their happily ever after. And so that's neat. If nothing else, I will say that's a pretty cool reward for getting 100%. But honestly, like, if Tidus would have came back, that's cool, that's great. But like, the explanation of him coming back really is kind of dumb, in my opinion. It's just like, once you beat Shuyin and you're leaving the heart of the far plane, like, what the the Faith Kid shows up again. He's like, "Oh, I can bring Titus back. Do you want me to do that?" And then you're given a decision. You can say yes, or you can say no, it's for the best, like this. And of course, most people are naturally going to say yes, I guess. But if you say yes, then you get a cutscene of Titus coming back. He wakes up in the ocean. He swims up right in front of Beset Island, and the Gullwings show up on the airship. And Yuna and Titus have their moment, and then suddenly the whole island of Beset, they all show up on the beach, and it's a pretty fan servicey ending. You know, I'm not as emotional playing games as other people. I'm sure Final Fantasy X's ending makes people cry. I'm sure 10-2's ending makes people cry with tears of joy or whatever. I don't know. It just seemed like, to me, it just kind of seemed like just a fan servicey, just random, like, oh, we can bring Titus back, sure, why not? Fuck it. There was no like real reason for him to be able to come back, as far as I could tell. He just could. I'm just kind of like thinking like, well, damn, Faith Kid, why didn't you do this to begin with? Why weren't you able to do this at the end of Final Fantasy X? And I guess it's because when we defeated Sin, the Faith, they just automatically woke up from their dream and kind of stopped existing. But they were able to come back during this, during 10-2 with all this Shiyin stuff. I don't know. I'm lacking of some details, I'm sure, and it'd be really nice if anybody watching this would, knows a little more than me, can fill me in on some details here and can explain this a little bit better than the way I'm taking it. But yeah, no. All in all, it's still pretty cool for Titus to come back here at the end. He kind of had to, right, in some way, because Eternal Calm kind of, I don't want to say it promised you Titus was gonna some way somehow come back, but it definitely got your hopes up. So, some people might have been pretty pissed off if, like, going into this game thinking, oh shit, they're really heavily hinting that Titus can come back, and then you play this whole game and there's, no Titus. Kind of makes you, kind of leaves you feeling like, what the fuck? But again, it's not easy to get that ending. You have to have 100% on the missions. But yeah, again, just to reiterate, 10-2. Well, first let me talk about last mission here, because I went and watched those cutscenes too. So, as I saw playing the beginning of this, Yuna, Riku, and Pain, they all get their notes, and so basically, after they defeated Shiyin, they all went their separate ways, and they haven't really seen each other since. There's only been 3 months. There's only been 3 months in between the end of 10-2 and last mission here. But they're all together, and you find out like halfway through last mission that it was Pain that wrote the notes and got them all back together. Because she feels like she needs more, I guess she feels like she needs more closure with them. And basically, like, Yuna's kind of took in the life of a housewife, I guess, essentially. And she's just living a calm, peaceful life. Riku, she's gone the opposite direction. And she's just doing nothing but adventuring. And I guess Pain is, she's more on the side of Riku. She's trying to do her own things. And she's trying to write a book about her experiences, and Riku and Yuna kind of like shoot that down, and they're like, "Oh, that's not you, Pain." And I'm like, "No, that's a good idea, Pain. You should definitely do that. You definitely have a story to tell." But anyway, and then like Yuna and Riku kind of get to like arguing at each other because Riku is upset that Yuna has just become this like boring housewife essentially, and they kind of like Yuna says she found somebody here, and Riku and Pain are like, "Ooh, who is it? Who's the new guy?" And so it's kind of like basically saying like she's not with Tita, she's with some new different guy that kind of like going off. You didn't get the true ending. You didn't get the true 100% ending. But then Riku's like, "Oh, I understand. So he's back," or she says something like that. So then she's kind of insinuating, no, it is Tita. So I don't know. It's just kind of, I guess it's supposed to be vague, like depending on the ending you got. It could be Tita's, it could not be. But it really doesn't matter. But yeah, they start arguing with each other for no reason, and at that point, things just started feeling ridiculous. But basically, in the end, they all agree that, they make up and they all agree that their lives might take them in different directions. They might hardly ever see each other again, but they'll always be friends. And that's a good message, That's something everybody can relate to, You make friends in life, and then time goes on, and your paths start to differ. You go different directions, and you might not see each other anymore, but that's just a part of life, People come and go. But you can always remember the time you did have, and those times still built you as an individual. And sometimes to grow, you need to move on, and a lot of the times you really don't have any choice but to move on. But it was trying to give a good message. Last mission here was trying to give a good message, but it was just, to get to that point, I just felt like it was kind of stupid. I'm not sure when last mission came out. I think it was, I could be completely wrong with what I'm about to say, but I'm kind of under the impression that last mission was DLC for a PlayStation 2 game. But I think it was something that maybe originally came out in Japan, and it didn't make its way over here to the States until this HD remaster. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, my thoughts of 10-2 as a whole is, I still think it's a mid game. I feel like it had potential. I really felt like it had potential. There's nothing really bad with it. The gameplay was solid. The job system it implemented here was solid. It was fun. It was decently fun trying to level up each character's individual job and collect abilities with each one. Its system isn't as good as other games like Final Fantasy V. I feel like has the better job system still. Story-wise, I felt like it just kind of like fell on its face in the end. I felt like it had potential. Like I really liked Gipple and Barala and Nuge, the new characters that introduced. I thought they were interesting, but I felt like they could have done more with them. Pain was a good character too. I still don't understand why why couldn't this game just have been Riku and Lulu? Lulu could have just not gotten pregnant. She still could have been with Waka, been in a relationship with Waka, but she just went with Yuna and Riku, and the game could have been about them three. But it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. you know, at the end of the day, I'm actually kind of glad they introduced a new character with Pain and have her be the third party member, because her role and her past with Gipple, Berla, and Nuge, that was interesting. That was interesting to learn about. But again, I felt like they could have done more with it. I felt like in the end it kind of fell on its face. I think a lot of that is just how this game was structured. And a lot of those scenes that you could have come across by collecting the spheres were just entirely optional. And man, this game wasn't linear, but I'd rather it be linear. Because really, just the story of this game is so short. You really expect it to go and do all these missions and stuff, and it's just too disconnecting. You know, there's times where you can spend hours upon hours of just doing these side quests, missions, mini games, and then you finally get back to the story. And I think it's just too disconnecting. And doing these missions and whatnot, that's how you collect some of this extra story, by collecting the spheres, and you need to do them if you want the true ending. So I just didn't care for how this game was structured. I would have rather had a linear experience. I'm all for optional content and mini games and missions, but I just felt like it was just too much of it, and they could have pulled it back in some, and just focused on making all the content you saw with the optional spheres you could have collected. They could have like implemented that into the story, and you could have just seen that on your own. You didn't have to rely on collecting spheres and just having to do optional stuff to see those scenes. They could have worked it out into the story and have a overall better paced story. Because honestly, I feel like those were the most interesting parts of the game, is when you collected those spheres and you saw those scenes, you know, especially the Crimson Spheres. But yeah, at the end of the day, this still was a solid game. You know, I really don't have any... My biggest complaint about the game is I just didn't like how it was structured. But there's no, like... I really don't feel like there's any, like, big, huge, like... game-ruining issue with this game. It's solid. It's just... I think they're better Final Fantasy games, for sure. Without a doubt. I'll say that, you know. This game just kind of ended up being very mid for me. But yeah, that was my time with 10-2. Still enjoyed my time. I feel like another thing about this game was it definitely got to the point where it overstayed its welcome for me. But a lot of that was because I was trying to do optional stuff that I just couldn't do, and I spent hours into trying to do them, and basically wasted my time. And at the end of the day, I just couldn't do them. Like trying to do that Thunder Plains mini game, and even collecting stuff in Beacon Desert. That kind of really amounted to nothing because I collected a bunch of shit and I still wasn't able to further on fighting that Outbed creation, and even like trying to do the underground dungeon under New Yevon. You know, spent a lot of time trying to do that and just couldn't. And what else? There's one more thing. Oh yeah, trying to trying to defeat that boss in Beacon Out Desert at the end. I couldn't do that, and I basically wasted all that time trying to collect cactars too because of that. I collected all those cactars, and I tried for hours to defeat that boss. In the end, I couldn't. So my point is, if I were to replay this game again, I probably wouldn't touch all that stuff, and the game wouldn't. I wouldn't have spent close to 80 hours trying to play this. It might be closer to like 65. Who knows? Maybe 60. And it would be interesting to try to play this game and not touch any of the side content. But at the end of the day, I think you would just have a hard time trying to beat the game, not touching the side content. But anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts on 10-2. So, alright, we'll move on to the next game in the marathon, which will be Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. You know, I can't play. I could play, I guess, if I really wanted to, but I don't think it's worth to try to do and play Final Fantasy 11. So, kind of think of me playing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles as me playing Final Fantasy 11. It's taking its place. So yeah, that's what's next here on the marathon. So, until then.